Time to ask the gardener. Our expert is Bethany O'Rear, the extension agent with the Alabama Cooperative Extension System. She joins us to answer your questions that you submitted through Janice's Facebook page. Hey, Bethany, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning. Glad to be here.
All right, let's get right to it. The first question is from Susie Gilham. She says her asparagus is bearing spears with the circumference ranging in the size from a toothpick to a thumb. Is this normal? What should she do?
It could be related to fertility, and I'd also want to know how old those asparagus plants are. So typically with asparagus, we don't harvest them until they are in their third year. So if she can send me a little more information, I'd be happy to answer that for her. But she will need to apply regular fertilizer, but I can explain that to her in more detail in an email.
Good stuff there. Question number 2, Patricia Mason asks, when is a good time to start planting flowers in the spring?
Typically, our average last frost date is April the 15th, so I would be a little leery to put out any, warm season herbaceous plants until about mid-April.
Okay, question number 3 is from Glenda Colburn. She asks, is it too late to trim my hydrangea? It is brown and it sticks right now, so will that come out?
She may be referencing some cold damage, so
Okay.
I would check to maybe scratch under the bark surface. I actually pruned my hydrangeas this weekend. I pruned any potential blooms off, but I had a lot of dead in there, so it needed to happen anyway. So if she's worried about cold damage, just scratch under that bark and prune until you see green wood. But know that depending on the hydrangea type, she may be pruning the blooms off, but for the overall health of the plant, we've got to get those dead branches out anyway.
All right, good advice there. Will Ferris asks, how long does it take for wildflowers or pansies to show color and actual flowers?
Okay, well, it depends on what it is. Whenever you're mentioning wildflowers, pansies are cool season annuals, and so they should already be producing blooms. We usually plant those mid to late October into early November, and they'll last until the temperatures get hot. But if it's warm season things, it's going to depend on the actual particular type of wildflower he's talking about.
Okay, Jenny Carroll wants to know, is it too late to trim or cut back the azaleas?
No, actually, we want to wait until azaleas bloom. So whenever they finish blooming, that's when you prune azaleas.
Okay, Belinda Brennan asks, what type of tree can you plant in clay soil? They've tried several different kinds in the front yard and they always end up dying.
It could be that maybe they're planting too deeply, or if that soil is very high in clay content, that means it may not be draining as well. So that's something that would need to be corrected. But I'd need to get a few more questions answered related to, is it sun versus shade, how much space, and that kind of thing before I can make a recommendation.
All right, good advice there. Susie Vance would like to know, when should she trim back her crepe myrtle bushes and her knockout roses and her gardenia bushes?
Okay, we want to wait till after the gardenia blooms, but for the other 2 items, she can go ahead and cut those back now.
Perfect. Kay Harden asks, how do you keep ant beds from getting into your flower pots and not kill your flowers? Good question.
So we recommend managing fire ants with a bait product, and May is actually the best time to put that out. Now you can use individual mound treatments right now, but we would suggest putting out a bait product in May, and that will provide months long control. And there's lots of different ones that are available. If she wants more details, I can send her that information.
All right, well, thank you so much. I think I may try out my green thumb soon, so I may have some questions for you in a couple of weeks. Thanks again.
Sure.
That is Bethany O'Rear. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Well, if you have questions for the gardener, we're going to take them to the experts every single Monday. So send those to gardening@wbrc.com. Be sure to include your name and if you have a specific question. Also, it's really helpful if you send a picture of your plant too. Again, that's gardening@wbrc.com.